Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week. No, just kidding. This is for your bonus reading for May 2023, 2024. Who knows what year it is? Doesn't even matter. But we're just going to jump in here. You have this new moon in Sagittarius. It says focus on the positive. Yeah, really important for you right now, Sagittarius or Capricorn, obviously. I think that I think it's just a time for you to kind of keep it positive as well. I've said this to you before. I even remember at the beginning of the year, I was saying something to you that, if I were a Capricorn, which I basically am, I would avoid the news at all cost because, just based off your astrology, I think that there's a lot that could be just kind of getting you down, or, it's you could see things happening in the world and you could be worrying a little bit too much. And again, there's definitely this energy for you that, that I feel could be saying that you're worrying a little bit too much about the things that are going on in the world. And again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't care or, any of that stuff, but, if it's getting to the point where it's causing you anxiety or stress or, anything like that, then, it's probably not worth focusing on. And so, it's probably just going to consume you. Again, every single person that I've always met that's always how dare you not worry about the rare, Bolivian squirrel that's going extinct. Every single person that worries about every little thing that I've ever met basically does nothing with their life, right? And so, not a criticism, right? I don't judge people for their journey and why they're here, but what I would say is it's not worth worrying about every little thing. And this first row here is kind of giving me that feeling. How interesting is this? I'll just show you. The rest of this reading is amazing, right? So much good stuff over here. But it's you have the Nine of Swords, which is kind of a cycle that I feel you need to break. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I feel you need to get out of this energy right here, Capricorn. I feel this is something that needs to change. This is actually an amazing reading, right? You have the Empress, Ten of Cups, Ace of Wands. You have the Eight of Wands. Really, really good energy. But I almost feel that you need to kind of create a breakthrough by focusing on the positive, or kind of focusing on the things that make you feel happy or whatever. I also feel you need to realize you have a choice. I always say that with the Nine of Swords, if you look here right above my finger, there's a person hitting another person with a sword. And this carving, I've always looked at this carving that's on this bed, and I always say that it's kind of you have a choice. You can be the bug or the windshield. You can be the person who's getting hit by the sword or the person who's doing the hitting, right? And so it kind of encourages you to get up and, grab the lion right here. The lion represents your inner voice, your inner critic, your inner demons, right? She is taming this lion. This lion has its tail between its legs. I also think that with the Empress here, you have a good opportunity to really, show the world what you're capable of. That's kind of the feeling. I get a couple of things on the Empress. Number one, if you're not trying to get pregnant, I would be careful. You have this rabbit card as well. We'll talk about it with the Ace of Wands. I would be careful. Let's just put it that way. But the other thing I would say is, again, I get more of that energy. It doesn't matter what gender you are, of just getting attention. The Strength card, again, who in the right mind would put their hands in a lion's mouth? The answer is nobody. So you could be getting a lot of attention for feats of strength. Sometimes I feel with a Strength card that it is a feat of strength, you doing something that is really hard to do and getting attention for it, building a business, starting a YouTube channel, whatever it is you want to do. You have the Five of Pentacles. I feel this is part of the problem, feeling you don't have the resources. And guess what? Again, Capricorn, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You probably don't have the resources to do something that you want to do. So what's the secret here? What's the trick? You have to do it anyway. So I keep telling people, it's no matter what you want to do, even if you have $1 billion in the bank account, right? You're probably not going to have the resources to do something that you want to do. So what is the trick? The trick is to be resourceful. The trick is to follow your intuition. The trick is to move towards your desires. Again, I really feel, I know I keep saying this, but it's the people who listen are going to become ridiculously successful. So, that's what I'll say there. But it's you might want to start a business. Maybe you don't have money. And it's you need to start looking at ways of how can you take control? How can you grab that sword on that Nine of Swords and take control of something like a nightmare? I always think of the Nine of Swords. There was this guy I listened to a while ago. I wish I could find this interview. But I was watching this interview. I think it was on Impact Theory, a podcast, and he was talking about how his daughter had a dream about a monster or something, and he asked her like, "What did you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I picked up a sword and I chopped its head off," or something like that. But it was like about taking, the thing is like that's how I look at the Nine of Swords. It's like having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare, and it's like, what can you do to take control of that nightmare? Can you chop the monster's head off? Right? With the Nine of Swords, you have the world. So I would actually say that it's an end. The world is completion, is the end, ending something difficult, and it's also your card, so you're kind of like coming up in a position of power and strength here. With the strength card, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, some sort of feat of strength is going to lead to the Ten of Pentacles. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be maybe you want to move and you don't have the money. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to start a business. You're all different. You all want to do something different. But I really feel, again, I know I'm not like just trying to blow smoke here up your butt, Capricorn, and I really, really, truly believe that you out of all the signs, you have the opportunity right now to like create something amazing or to do something that you see as impossible, even though it isn't. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit of effort, but you're used to that. You're used to putting effort into things that you want to create. So I would get moving. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles. I literally said that the answer to the Five of Pentacles is to be resourceful. The Queen of Pentacles is the card of resourcefulness. Like pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It's like, where I wouldn't be surprised if the Chariot shows up in this reading either. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I kind of feel like this reading is saying, be resourceful, tap into your resources, or maybe you have more resources than you realize is kind of what I'm getting here. Next, we're going to look at, the unexpected. You have this rabbit, it says pregnancy fears. You have this dog, it says loyalty, determination. So number one, Empress, Ace of Wands. If you're not trying to get pregnant, I would definitely be careful with this energy. Obviously, if you're too old to get pregnant, this message isn't for you. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but sometimes I do. So there you go. But I would also say that I think if you are determined this week to be successful, that you will be very successful. The other thing I will say is that normally the Queen of Pentacles has a rabbit on her card. The rabbit kind of on the Queen of Pentacles, it can represent fertility and abundance, but it really represents fears and anxiety. But she's normally holding on to that pentacle, and she's normally like looking at the pentacle. And so it represents the fact that the Queen of Pentacles, again, she focuses on what she has, not on what she doesn't have. Five of Pentacles. Do not call attention to your weaknesses. Basically, focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. And that's going to lead to the most success. But I also feel like the more, like a dog with a bone, right? I feel like the more determined you are, the more successful you will be. You have the Empress, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Cups. I kind of feel like you're stepping into the light as well. Like, I feel like it's like clearly you're doing something that's like a feat of strength, something that's required a lot of time, effort, and energy. So that could be like building a business or, building yourself up in a career or, just doing something that you've always wanted to do. And I feel a lot of you are going to be, getting some sort of recognition in the, maybe not this month, but I would say in the very near future, or this is at least what you're building towards, based off this reading. I also feel like you're very attractive at this time. So clearly, if you want love, there's like a lot of love here. It could be a water sign. Could be any sign. Fire also stands out to me as well. Earth stands out to me as well. So you basically have everything here. But what I would say is there could be someone who's very attracted to you. Obviously, again, wrap it before you tap it. That's like the Minnow Pond rule, right? So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, ask your mom when you get older. But what I would say here is, clearly be careful. You have the High Priestess. High Priestess says the sky's the limit. Or there are no limits. I always say that. She is like the true card of potential. Everybody always reads her as intuition and like mystery and all the and secrets and all the things that she represents. But really, she's a card of potential. There is no roof above her head. And it kind of represents the fact that something that you're thinking of doing that you feel like you don't have the resources for is going to lead to your happily ever after. It's like some sort of feat of strength. So, I would really like encourage you to be motivated. I want to motivate you here clearly, Capricorn, because I feel like if you can, figure out how to do something, without the resources that you think you need, then you're going to be very successful. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups like a knight in shining armor, of course, but, so this could be love, and clearly there could be a super passionate connection coming in for you. I do feel if you're attracting new love that this could move very, very quickly. Again, if you're not trying to get pregnant, be careful. But again, this could be one of those things where it's like you move in with a person very quickly. Or I don't know. I just kind of get that feeling that if you're attracting someone here, that it could just move forward just pretty quickly is what I would say. It could be like a friend, because we have the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Cups. Eight of Wands is my card of socializing. The Ten of Cups is a card of your community, like the people around you. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was like a friend. With the Empress, you have the Death card. Yeah, you're going through a transformation. I also get this feeling that you're letting go of things. If we go like this, it's almost like this way is saying to me, to have this new beginning, you obviously have to walk away from things that no longer serve you. There's always a crumbling castle in the background of the Ace of Wands. And, that crumbling castle is basically just represents out with the old, in with the new. So there's clearly something that you're going to have to let go of. Or I kind of feel like you have been letting go of things, really, honestly, like shedding your skin, basically. With the High Priestess, you have the Page of Pentacles. Yep. Page of Pentacles here is about being studiousness. This actually changes the reading a little bit, because you have the Ten of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles can represent like hidden or secret information, and it doesn't really represent the information being hidden. It just says you have to go looking for information. So it's like if you want to start a popsicle factory and that's your dream, but you don't have the money, basically the Page of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles together says if you do your research, you will find a way to either get the money, to get someone to fund it, or whatever the hell you want to do, right? With the Knight of Cups, you have the King of Cups. Yep, I don't even need to show you. I mean, like, are you kidding? It's like you and someone else right here. So maybe you've been feeling left out in the cold, but you could be attracting a very strong connection here. It could be a Taurus, even though they're showing up as a water sign here. It could be a water sign, but I don't know. I'm kind of like leaning more towards either earth or fire, just based off your reading. They might have a lot of water in their chart, let's put it that way, but just more specifically, I'm picking more up on like Taurus, or it could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo with that World card. But earth and fire really stand out to me. But what I would say here is like there you are, and the King of Cups shows up again. So I do feel there could be a strong connection coming in for you. And it could be any sign. Take it how it resonates. Next, in the area of the critical information you need to hear right now, you have this pathway card and this bad health card. Number one, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but I would watch your health. If I were you, Capricorn, just based off your astrology, all the way through July, like until August. I'm not saying that you should stop after that either, but, I think that for you in particular, it is a good time to be healthy. And again, I'm not a doctor, so I have no clue what I'm talking about, but, just based off your astrology, I would do the things that keep you healthy, whatever that is, right? Or I would try to do more things to keep yourself healthy. Not because, anything will happen, but just to make sure that something doesn't happen. I also feel like you're clearly on this good, like, new path in your life. You have the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Page of Wands. The Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. It is a card of good things happening in your life, good things happening to you. So I feel there are some improvements coming in here with the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups, like I said, is like fortune after difficulty, or good things happening after a difficult period of time. It is also your happily ever after. It's kind of like achieving heaven on earth is the Ten of Cups. Of course, it can represent, finding love. But again, I feel like this reading is, like I said, I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it's like more of a feat of strength, because, it looks to me like you're either on your way to accomplishing something great, or you have already, or you're very, very close, right? And, the Ten of Cups would be kind of creating that dream life. You have the Ace of Wands. Sorry, didn't want to do that, but the Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. Also, I think that we're in this time where we really have to move towards our desires. It's like we have left behind the old world, and it's like there are many great spiritual teachers that have talked about like the splitting of the worlds and two worlds, and the new earth, and all this other stuff. But it's like I think people think like, oh, like something's gonna happen, like a switch is gonna be flipped, and we're gonna be in this new world or something. But really, the secret is that the two worlds already exist right here. But you just have to choose like which world do you step into, the one that's full of like competition, anxiety, greed, fear, like all that other stuff, or the other one that's full of happiness, joy, abundance, and all that other stuff. And people always say like, oh, there are all these horrible things happening in the world. It's like, how can you say that? I'm like, well, yes, but there's also like crazy good things happening if you look for it. So, the choice is yours. And I always like to say to those people, for like 200 years, like the only thing the news has focused on is misery, miserable things, putting bad things in your face, and it hasn't worked, right? Has it changed one thing, focusing on that? Because we've been focusing on bad things for like 200 years, and things have basically been the same. So I don't know, like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? So I kind of feel like this is saying, hey, like, what are you going to focus on? The good stuff or like all the crazy stuff? You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands says go on the adventure. You're going on some sort of adventure. I mean, you have that pathway card right here. You have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Cups is like walking away from things that no longer serve you and choosing joy, happiness, good things. It's coming up in the area of the good stuff as well. So I feel there's clearly something very good happening for you here. Let's see. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's been a burden. We've talked about this. A feat of strength. Like, this hasn't been easy. Your path hasn't been easy. The things you've been trying to accomplish have been, it's probably been like 1 step forward, 10 steps back, right? But I actually like that the Ten of Wands is showing up here. The Ten of Wands, traditionally, the guy on the Ten of Wands, he's about to reach his home in the background, and, so the 10 wands represent something that he planted. They represent a harvest. So I kind of feel this is saying, like, don't give up, keep going. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, like a lot of success, independence. Some of you could be kind of achieving financial independence as well. For others, I kind of feel this has to do with your position in life. That's literally the words that are popping into my head. Sometimes I think when we get into a good position in life, it allows us to, negotiate things better. It allows us to, when we're in a better position, it makes everything else better, right? And I kind of get that feeling here. With the Page of Wands, you have the High Priestess. You have the High Priestess twice going in this direction. So something clearly has a lot of potential, and it's going to be a new adventure with the Page of Wands. So, whatever new adventure you're thinking about starting or going on, clearly it's going to be very successful. You have this Caterpillar card. It literally says cat or pillar, and then it says opportunity, and you have this King of Swords. I kind of feel like there could be, I'll show you over here, just so you can see the cat or pillar thing that's going on this card. But, I literally feel that some of you are kind of like bossing up. King of Swords, he represents knowledge and wisdom. And so it's like you've been through this period of learning, 10 of Wands, the 9 of Swords, living in the nightmare. It's almost like you've been training for this moment for your whole entire life, right? Through all the difficulties and challenges. And this is the good stuff, so it's going to be good no matter what. You have the King of Cups, the 8 of Wands, and the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups, I feel like you're just cutting out all the crap, moving towards your 9 of Cups, moving towards fulfillment. But I also feel like you're walking towards whatever you have been preparing yourself for. That strength card, the feat of strength that's going to lead to your 10 of Pentacles or whatever the case may be. You have the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands, quick success. So I do feel like you are going to find success very quickly at this time. But again, it hasn't been quick. I feel like it's been long, difficult, challenging. I feel like this is almost like confirmation, or I really feel this reading is kind of like the universe saying, like, okay, you're very close, don't give up now, keep pushing towards whatever you're working towards, because you're about to get this success. I also get something about moving here, by the way. So if you're moving, some of you could be moving. I also get communication, and it could be communication from like this person right here, King of Cups type person. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be love communication. The King of Cups to me is also a clue card for the home. So, some of you could be moving at this time. The other interesting thing that I'm getting here is that some of you might be moving in like exactly 1 year. It's popping into my head that some of you might be moving next May or June, right? Or maybe like April, May, June, within those months. But I feel like for some of you in like about a year, maybe you're thinking about moving, maybe you're hoping that you can move in a year. And I feel like you will, I don't know. It's very specific. That might just be for like one of you out there, but it's definitely popping into my head. So there you go. With the King of Cups, you have the Empress. Again, are you kidding? I mean, Empress twice. This is a very good reading. Clearly, there's like a glow up going on here, or a lot of abundance coming in for you. With the 8 of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. You have all these Pentacle cards. The Knight of Pentacles, I feel, is saying, like, now is the time. It's not the time to give up, Knight of Pentacles normally has those empty fields behind him, and he needs to plant seeds in those fields so he can be very successful. So I feel like it's time for you to, like, really get moving on planting those seeds. With the 8 of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. I mean, literally the answer to your reading is right here, is to go on a new adventure, because, that's where all the success is. Could be like, kind of like completing an adventure as well. So I definitely like this. We're going to pull 5 main themes. Damn, Capricorn. This is like the best reading I've done. I mean, your readings have been pretty good, but this is like the best one. You have this tankard. It says celebration, fun, enjoyment. I do feel that you need more of that. 8 of Wands, 10 of Cups, social energy definitely represents like needing to socialize, needing to get out there. And, you know, this could just be so that you don't become dull. You know, if you're only focused on work, then, you know, that's where life gets boring. And I feel this is saying like you need to celebrate. You have this peacock. It says, beware of great pride. Yeah, keep it humble. I don't think there's really any problem here. I think you will keep it humble, but, you know, definitely a time to keep it humble. You have this lion. It says, time to act. Lion, strength card, time to act, time to, you know, finish something up here, time to make your move. You know, it's like, now is the time. I almost feel like for some of you, this is a confirmation reading. Like if you've been asking, like, should I make X, Y, and Z move? I feel like this is saying, hell yes, now is the time for you to do whatever you're thinking about doing. You have this bread card that says period of prosperity and abundance. Yes, definitely. I mean, are you kidding? Empress twice, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, 8 of Wands. These are very amazing, abundant cards. I feel like you've worked for this and, you know, looks good. You have this torch. It says spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. High priestess twice in your reading. I would say anything you can do to like learn, to educate yourself spiritually, or to, you know, tap more into your intuition. Obviously, if it wants to focus, which it doesn't, you know, I think that's going to make you very successful as well. But Capricorn, this is a good reading for sure. I kind of feel like you're finishing something difficult up, and you're probably going to get recognition for it with that strength card. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.